I'm talking with Mike on his magnificent 52-foot Chincogan catamaran. Tell us, Mike, when did you buy the boat and what made you decide on the Chincogan 52?
Good morning, Norm. Thanks for coming over. Welcome aboard. I've owned the boat for about 3 years now. I've been living on it for about 6 months, so it was a fair journey of thinking about what we needed to do and getting the work done. We did quite a lot of work on it. It's a very nice boat to live aboard, and we're enjoying our time. At the moment we're up the back of Fraser, waiting for some wind to go further north.
You've carried out a pretty extensive refit since owning the boat. What changes did you make?
The boat is almost 20 years old now. So I bought it from the original owner, and he looked after it pretty well, but clearly a 20-year-old boat is due for quite a lot of love and attention. So I bought the boat with the knowledge that we would need to do a pretty extensive refit in order for it to be a reliable vessel sort of moving into the future. We did quite a lot of work. I think the first day we put it in the shed at Boatworks, and after about the first morning there was a significant pile of stuff off the back transom. So we ripped everything out, and but on the other hand we avoided doing any structural work, because once you start doing structural work to boats, this is a foam sandwich construction, very well made originally. And but once you start doing structural work, you're really talking about major hours adding.
I notice you carry a pretty comprehensive wardrobe of sails on furlers on the foredeck. Does that give you a lot of options?
Yes, I do carry a few jibs at the front of the boat. I guess I'm a sailor by background. I've sailed ever since I was about 6 years old, so I like to sail. The mainsail and the genoa is made by Ullman with the current fibre path composite materials. Those sails, because they're designed to carry the load when they're fully out, they don't like being partially furled. So we decided to go a little bit smaller. So we've got a storm jib, number 3 jib, staysail type jib, whatever you'd like to call it, which is off a lower hound point, and that's a very nice sail for high wind upwind work. And then we had a look at the wardrobe and thought that the gap between the genoa and that so-called staysail jib was too big. So we had a position on the mast that we could still run a third halyard. So we've got like an in-between, maybe you'd call it your working jib. So the idea is that, and we have the screecher of course up the front further, but the idea is you've got them sitting there on furlers, and you can just keep the boat nicely balanced and do that sort of change without taking a lot of time. So they're all set up. I've got some electric winches to run the furlers, and it's a 5-minute job to furl one up and unfurl the next one, and then you can keep the boat balanced and maybe not run around doing a lot of reefing on the main. Any sort of breeze, you might just run the first reef in, and then you can balance the boat basically with a couple of different options on the jibs.
What about engines? What type of engines and what size?
The engines original engines, they're the 3-cylinder turbo Yanmars. They're I think 45 horsepower, something like that. The engines themselves are still running well. We refurbed the turbos, we changed the injectors, put new alternators on, and just we changed the prop seals, the shaft seals, and the coupling on the back of the gearbox. So they've had quite a bit of work. They move the boat along okay. We do, with zero wind, we can do five and a half knots on one engine, about 2,200 revs. I can do 7 if I want to push both engines quite hard. Somewhere between 4 and 6 litres an hour on fuel, but I carry probably about 700 litres of fuel all up, so good range. You can't be too nervous about using fuel. If you've got to get somewhere, you've got to get somewhere. So.
The interior looks pretty impressive. Was there much done on the interior during the refit?
No, I'm very happy with the way the interior turned out. I said the boat was it's nearly 20 years old now. I need to double check when the birthday is. And she was, maybe we could describe it as basic inside, which was done for the purpose of lightness. This boat has a reputation for being one of the lighter ones that they made. And you could tell just by the insides, there's no sort of heavy joinery or panelling. It's all nice and simple and clean. But a lot's changed since it was first built. The finishes, the wiring systems, LED lights, just all your different systems, your plumbing systems, your battery systems, your cooking systems, your instrumentation systems, they've all greatly improved since this was first built. So it was time for an upgrade, and really the inside was totally gutted. Everything was taken out. All the wiring, all the plumbing, everything was taken out. And we repainted the inside and fitted all new joinery. The heads joinery is the same. We just put refreshed the countertops on them. But all the kitchen joinery and the upstairs joinery and some additional cupboards we added in. What else did we do? Outside, the main job we did outside was we extended the hard top over the rear deck here. Originally it just had a short overhang from the cabin top, and we've made a hard top extension, and it's a very nice space now. We've got our nice shade clears, and it really becomes a very livable extension on the boat. It's a great space.
I guess the refit included lithium batteries and technology. What are your thoughts on that?
I guess that one of the major improvements in boat systems over the last maybe 5 years, even only just 5 years, is lithium batteries. We put lithium batteries in. I'm a big fan of lithium batteries. To me, the best thing about the lithium battery really is the discharging curves. The trouble with lead acid and even the AGM batteries is that their sort of charging curve is very asymmetrical, if you like. It takes forever to get that last 5 or 10% into your battery. Once the voltage goes up on the battery, it really struggles to accept charge. And also on the discharge side, you might get good voltage for the first 5, 10, 15% maybe, but once you get to that state of discharge on the batteries, the voltage really drops off quickly. Whereas lithium, it's a very flat, symmetrical charging characteristics. It will accept a lot of amperage all the way up to the top, and you can discharge that battery bank to 80% discharge, 20% left is a state of charge, and it'll still be pushing out 13.1, 13.2 volts.
I suppose the boat would be classed as a fast cruising catamaran, and you're more interested in cruising, I guess. Can you give us any idea of the performance?
Yes, you're right, Norm. You can tell by the lines that it's definitely a fast cruising cat. You can achieve that in a number of ways, I guess. The drawings by Tony Granger were very nice. The hull has quite a good length to width ratio on the hulls. It's deliberately built and designed to be very light in the ends. Both the last 4 metre of the back of the boat and the front 4 or 5 metres of the front of the boat are very light, and it's got a good nice long waterline, 52 feet. Waterline is always king if you're trying to get some efficient speed. It's got a big, powerful rig. So all of those things combined makes it a very efficient sailing machine. The real strength of the boat is in the 5 to 15 knot wind speed range. So the boat's strength is really its ability to put down the miles when the wind is down the lighter end.
Is there anything you would change to the design of the boat?
I did think about what I would change, and I think I've pretty much adjusted everything that I wanted to do. You never hear anyone say anything bad about the Chincogan. I actually bought this without even seeing it in the water, let alone sailing it, but I was very confident that the design was good, and Tony's Granger's got a good reputation. And you speak to anyone who's had anything to do with these boats, and you never hear a bad word about them. It's a very nice design. They're very well made, and you can clearly see they've stood the test of time. People are amazed to find out that it's nearly 20 years old now. So really, there's nothing I would change. He built about 10 or 12, I think, of these. The last couple they put out, the forward cabin windows were more vertical, which gives the boat a bit more of a modern look. And the modern style now with Catchus is maybe the reverse bow and a bit sharper. And those two things, even though they're cosmetic, they would kind of really bring the boat up to modern style, and would really would look then like a brand new boat. But they're just minor cosmetic things. They don't really affect how the livability or the sailability of the boat. So we'll see one day. Maybe I'll get around to doing it.
Well, she's a lovely boat, Mike. Thanks for having us aboard and showing us around.
Yeah, thanks, Norm. I'm very happy with the way the refurb's turned out, and I'm very happy with the way the boat goes and how comfortable she is to live on and sail at sea. It's a very seaworthy and nice boat to move from point to point. Thanks for coming over, and it's nice meeting you, and good luck for the rest of your trip.
Thanks, mate.